it's Jill here. Welcome to my craft room and Happy New Year. As we come into 2026, I am excited to participate again this year in the One Little Word project by Ali Edwards. This will be my 5th year participating, and what I will say is 2025 really threw me for a big loop. If you watched one of my previous videos, I mentioned that my parents lost their home in one of the Southern California fires in January, and it really just sent my year into a bit of a spiral in more ways than one. And so I didn't spend as much time crafting last year as I would like to, and as I frankly think I, kind of need to. It is part of my self-care, right? And so this year I have a very strong intention to spend more time at my craft table. And with that, I also want to try to simplify things as much as possible so that I can get more things done, get more stories told. And so one thing that was really clear to me, I primarily scrapbook in 6x8 albums, and I've used a 6x8 album for One Little Word for 4 of the 4 years that I've done this so far. Last year being the 4th year, and I really didn't do anything, right? Because like I said, on the pretty much the 6th of January, my whole world was turned upside down. So I never cracked the spine of my album for last year. And what I decided was, coming into this year, I do want to participate, but I wanted to make it more manageable, and I want it to be like a very, very succinct project for myself, something that I can come in, do quickly, and spend some focused craft time on, but not let it get to be too big, and therefore maybe drop it because it's gotten to be too big, right? So what I did was I went through my stash of products to see what could I do this year that would be really different. And I decided to move into a traveler's notebook for my One Little Word this year. In my stash, I have found 2 that really spoke to me for this project and my word this year. My One Little Word this year is tend. I primarily came to that from a sense of really needing to take gentle care. I need to tend to my broken heart, and I need to tend to our home. We bought a new house last year, and I'm thrilled about that. And there are a lot of things that need our attention, but in a good way, right? In a positive way. I want to tend a little bit more to my relationships, and very specifically to my parents. And so that's my word for the year. The first album that I found that I thought would be kind of perfect in many ways is this traveler's notebook from Coco Daisy, and I forget, they actually call it something else, I forgot, but it's got this beautiful vine pattern on it, and a lot of these greens. Green is kind of the color I'm drifting towards this year. I like this sort of pink, peachish green and blue combination. Wake up with a peaceful mind and a grateful heart. I mean, a lot of what's in here is really perfect for my word. But I didn't quite feel like it had enough pages. And yeah, I guess it could have worked, but I just was considering some other options. Okay, so I'll come back to this. So there's that one. Then I came across this one, which is from Ali. So this is Ali Edwards. It's a travel from one of her travel kits. And it's, geared towards vacation or taking an actual trip, right? And I'm not a traveler notebook person. So when I go on vacation, I'm not going to take this, with me. So this isn't something that would get used for me related to an actual vacation or an actual literal trip. So I thought maybe I could use it for One Little Word. And there are a lot of times the word adventure shows up in here, time for a new adventure. And Ali talks about adventure. In the One Little Word practice, there is a lot about having an adventure with your word, right? Embarking on a journey with your word. And so this is very unconventional, but I got super excited about the idea of using this. And as I was flipping through, what I will say really sold me after I went back and forth, I just kept coming back to this very opening page in this notebook that says, choose your own adventure. And if any of you, are part of Ali's community, you will hear her say that all the time, right? Choose your own adventure. I think she would be thrilled to know that somebody has taken something she designed for as a travel product, and they're going to use it to kind of travel with their word for the year. So that actually got me really excited. And so what I started doing here was first of all, I went through and kind of marked the pages, right? So what I wanted to be able to do is have a couple of pages each month. So kind of two, and they don't all work. I think by the time I got to the end of the book, December had this singular spread, and I think November, only had one, set of spreads, pages, excuse me. So I could only do one spread for November and December. But I thought, what if I took this notebook and combined them? Now this is already making it bigger than I wanted to make it, so we'll see if that happens. But there are just so many prints in here that I cannot get out of my mind, that I think would be, zen and calm. These actually really go well with my word. And so what I think I might do is take this book apart. I think that Tranquility may have been the name of the kit that this came with. I got it on sale as a misprint, long after the kit was gone. But I think I'm going to take this apart and then identify some of the pages that I want to incorporate in here. So that is going to be how I kind of get my album started. So that's how I'm going to use this over the course of the year, or my setup, excuse me, and I'll incorporate some of those pages. But in here, like I said, I've already kind of tagged off the months and identified a few things. So like this page, for example, here, there, and everywhere, and it's kind of like a mountain image. There's a flower, I think, actually, that would perfectly cover that and completely repurpose this page, right? So some things won't be very travel heavy, but the places where they are, I'm going to embrace it, right? Up in the clouds on my way to unknown things. Perfect. Unknown things related to my word. So I'm actually really excited about playing around and making this work in that way. So here's the album. Now, the other thing that I did that I wanted to share with you is I wanted to condense the products that I'm using for this project. And I wanted it to be very compact. I wanted it to be mobile. Oh, I unsnapped it. Sorry. Let's try that again. Oh, I wanted it to be mobile. I thought I had all of these adhered. Oh, goodness. Okay, I wanted it to be mobile, which it is. So this is one of those kind of snap cases. It's got 3 different sections and little snaps down the side. And it actually, I think, comes with 5 pieces. I'm not even sure where I got this. I've had this forever. But in each section, I put some products, and so this is what I'm going to use to kind of carry with me around my house if I'm at the dining room or in my bedroom working on this project. What I love is that the Traveler's Notebook fits right in there, so the whole entire thing is like a one little word kit. All right, so that's that fits there. So in this first section here, I just grabbed some number stickers because I'm going to put the year on the cover. I grabbed some washi tape and some markers, and I just did some little swatches. These are some things that I think will work well together in the album. And I also added a couple of pieces of vellum. Let me grab these out. These are from last year's kit that, again, I didn't use, but the colors really work well for the color scheme that I'm really going for this year. So this kind of bluish, tealish blue, no, it's not blue, I'm sorry, green, this sort of green, ocean green kind of color. And then this reddish, pink peach color. This actually very specifically I thought would do well to cover up a page in here that really doesn't match the color scheme. So I already trimmed those down to size and I put those in the top section. The other sections here have, and here are kind of like, let me turn it this way, homes for words. So I grabbed tags. These are also the travel tags, but the colors work, right? So these, these are from Cocoa Daisy. These are letter stickers, and I'm gonna put my word in the album here. One thing I will say, because it's a traveler's notebook, I'm looking for very flat pieces, right? So that was kind of how I approached going through my stash to identify things that would work in this album. So I'll use this, kind of, it's a brighter green than I might have liked, but I found a way to make it work. So my word will be here. And then these are just kind of pieces from my stash that are in this color palette. I really went with, let's see, kind of these I think would be the best examples of the color palette. So pardon me if this is a bit of a glare here, but this sort of like, you know, almost like a gardeny green. There's a little bit of like this bluish teal. It's not really teal, it's a lighter blue than that, but you know, that green, that blue, this kind of blush pink, and these natural colors. This natural, what is this? I'm sorry. Craft, this kind of craft tone. So this has, again, just like little homes for words, maybe some pictures down the road. I grabbed, these were also from last year's kit, but they're very flat stickers, so I grabbed those in here. These washi were also from last year's kit. Not all of these are going to work with the color palette that I'm going to go with, but some of it will, so I'll use that. Oh, some more tags here. I grabbed in some circles. This is an old Felicity Jane, and I just was really drawn to this Thankful because this really matches perfectly, so I could see myself using this in one of the spreads at some point over the course of the year. And then some more alpha stickers. Again, flat. Okay, so that's in the second section, and then the bottom was all of the like embellishments. And again, most of this is from last year's kit, but what I did was I went through and I pulled everything that was either this kind of neutral, natural color, craft, anything that was kind of that greenish color. It's kind of a leafy green, right? The blush color, making it visible. So this is also from last year's kit. This was from last year's kit. This is the flower that I said I think will go nicely in one of those pages to cover something up. So that's it. I just really streamlined what I had in here. And and I grabbed this too. This is from, I think, from the community story kit. But I have quite a few of these. I just love these little hands, and I love that they're manicured, some of them. But the word tend, to me, it feels very tactile. It's very hands-on. Again, very tender, like kind of holding of myself, holding of my important people. And so I'm going to use these hands throughout the album in some way. So I dropped these in here, and actually one set I'm going to use on the cover, and I'll show you that in a moment. So that's my one little word kit that I made for myself. This is going to be the cover of the album, and I'm going to adhere these hands on here in a way that allows the tree to kind of be interactive, right, and tuck behind there and come in and out. And so I'll put the one little word and the year on the front, and then do a little bit of writing here on the back. So that is it. That's the entry point into my one little word practice this year. I'm really excited about taking this on and trying something really new and different and really out of my wheelhouse, and doing that in a way I think will relieve me of the pressure that I put on myself, and the feeling that I want to make it like kind of perfect, my version of perfect. And so I'm really excited to just play in this little traveler's notebook this year. So that's it. I hope that watching this inspired you maybe to get out of your own comfort zone for a particular project, to simplify something that may feel like it's getting unwieldy for you. Maybe it inspired you to join the One Little Word community, and I will include, of course, a link to Allie's class and community below in the comments. But yeah, I hope this inspired you. And if you are already part of the One Little Word community, I'm excited to see you there on the private Facebook group and in the classroom. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.